As a result, the ability to edit videos is more important, and in this video, I'll teach you the ropes so you can get started right away. Without further ado, let's enter my PC and begin the editing process. To begin, launch Premiere and create a new project. Give your project a name and choose a location on your hard drive to save it. And this is kind of what you should be seeing when you start your first new project. I know that this can look a little bit overwhelming at first because there are a bunch of different panels here, a bunch of different tools. So let's just get started with the basics. What you need to do to get started with an edit is to start importing your files. So let's get started with that. This right here is the media browser kind of like panel where you can see all your files. Now, organization is something that is very hard to learn if you don't get started with that, because I personally started editing by just first throwing all my clips in and all my audio files into the media browser, and I could never find anything. And that can become a habit, and then your editing is going to take way longer than it should. So get into the habit of organizing your files before you get started editing. For now, I'm going to create a new band, and I'm going to call one of those B-roll because I want to edit kind of like a nice cinematic sequence right now. I'm going to call one of those music, and I'm going to call one of those sound effects. All right, so now we have these three bins. And then what you want to do next is to click inside the certain bin that you want to import your files into, and then drag and drop them into that. So right now I have all these different video files here, and I'm just going to click and drag and drop them. Yeah, you want to do this for each of your folders. You can actually change the view of this kind of panel here by clicking on this. And there is this list view. And there is this icon view as well. I personally prefer the list view is just a bit more organized for my eyes, but you can use whatever you want. And then you can see that I can open up all these different bins that I've just created and see everything in just a second. So the next thing you want to do so you can actually start editing these files that we have just imported inside Premiere is to create a new sequence. So to do that, you're going to hit right click here and then create a new item and a new sequence. So here you can see there are a bunch of different settings here. Basically, in the sequence, you're setting the frame rate of your sequence and also the resolution of your sequence, which you are going to be editing in the editing mode. I'm going to hit custom. And then for frames per second, I want to pick 23.976, which is kind of like the standard in the cinematic field. And then for the frame size, I'm going to select 1920 by 1080p. And I'm going to quick select square pixels. And that's pretty much all I'm going to do for now. So then I hit click OK. And now you can see that I actually have the sequence here. What I like to do is go here and then actually kind of like skim through it. And then I'm only going to export the part, which I actually want to see in the final edit. So what I mean by that is, for example, you can see, let's say I want to start this video here. And now I can click it on my keyboard, and that's going to set the end point. And then I can, scroll through it a little bit. And maybe I want this click to end here. I'm going to hit O, and then I can just go ahead and now drag it on the timeline. You can see that now I only have this selected part that I wanted, so I'm going to do this with the rest of these videos, and then show you the end result can change the totalness kind of this video section here by dragging on this, or the same thing with the video so you can see what you're doing better. And the way you can zoom on the timeline is by dragging this little thing here, or by using your trackpad if you are on a laptop or you're using a trackpad. So now that we have these clips on the timeline, I'm going to show you the very basic tools that you're going to use in your editing workflow. So the first one is just the select selection tool. And you basically can drag things around with that, click on anything, change the effect controls of any clip, which I'm going to go into a little bit, and you get that tool by clicking on your keyboard or by clicking on this. Then the next thing that you're going to use a lot is the razor tool. And you can get that by clicking C on your keyboard or by hitting on this. And with this, you can cut a clip into 2 pieces or more pieces by just clicking on wherever we want to make the cut. And then basically, it's now cut into 2 different clips. So if I want to cut out middle part of this, I can just make these 2 cuts here, then press on a V for the selection tool, and then press on delete, and now I've deleted it. If you want to get rid of this space now that is here between the 2, you can just click on the empty space here, and then click on the delete. And now you can see that it moved all the different clips right up to the set like the cut before. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how you can speed up or slow down different clips very, very simply. So you can see that I have this cool clip of my friend just walking in a forest. So I want to slow this down. Now what I'm going to do is right click on it, click on speed, slowest duration, and then I can slow it down now. So for example, I want to slow it down to 20 frames 20%. And then I'm just going to click OK, and boom, you can see that now it is an amazing slow motion. Now, if I want to do the reverse of this and speed up a clip, for example, I can just do the same thing. Click on the clip and then go to speed/duration. And then here now I'm going to, for example, double the speed. So I'm going to put 200% there. And you can see now it's sped up my clip and it's going to be faster like that. Now let me show you how to use effects and transitions. So what you want to do is, first of all, I want to kind of close these panels here that I've created for all the different bins. I can still open these up whenever I want to by going here and then double clicking on any of these bins I've created. And then I want to go into this effects section here to add any effects that I want to add to these clips. And I'm going to go to video transitions. And then you can see all the different transitions that are installed inside of Premiere by default. Now I'm going to use the cross dissolve one, which is probably one of the most popular transitions in film and all of filmmaking. So to add it to clip, you're going to drag and drop it between two clips like this. And now you can see how these two kind of fade into each other very smoothly. Now to make this look better, I need to make this clip a little bit longer, so you can actually see the effect. But you can see that now I have this forest that just fades into the shot of this controller. So that's how simple transitions are to use. If you want to change the duration of a transition, you can just either, click on it and then change it right here. Or you can click on it and grab it like this and change the duration by dragging it on the timeline. You can also change the duration of clips by dragging them. And if you want to include less of the clip, just drag it like that. If you want to include more, drag it like that straight forward. Now, if you want to add effects to a video, what you're going to do is go into this. We are in the same section, After Effects, Video Effects, and then you can choose from all these different effects that they already have in here. So for example, I want to add a Gaussian blur effect to this. So it's going to blur it and boom, now I added it. But now what I'm going to have to do is to go into this effects control panel here in the top left. And then here where it says blurriness, I'm going to up this a little bit more. So for example, I'm going to put 30 there, and now you can see that it has blurred my video. And this is how you add effects. And this is where you can actually change all these different effects opacity and strength and all the different settings that come with them. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how you can add a text to your video. So to do that, what you're going to do is just press T on your keyboard and then click on the actual video and then just type your text that you want to add to the video. So I'm just going to put forest in there, for example. Then you can highlight that text, go into this little panel here, click this drop-down menu, and then you can change the size of the text. You can change the font of the text. For example, I'm going to use Montserrat in semi-bold and add to 198 points. Then you can also change how wide the characters are apart from each other here. And a bunch of different things. You can also change the position of the text here. And yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know to begin with. You can also change the opacity of this. And yeah, that's kind of how you add the simple text to your video. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how you can add some music and sound effects to your video. So go into these folders that you have created for the sound effects and the music for your video, and just go and drag and drop it into one of the audio channels right there. And boom, that's how simple it is. If I make this a little bit larger, you can see that now we have this music here. And to change the volume of that, you can either click on it, go to this Effects Control tab, and then click on Volume and make it lower by lowering level there. Or you can also just go here and kind of lower it by dragging it down with your mouse or your trackpad like that. And then you can see how many decibels it's increasing or decreasing it by. And the same goes with the sound effects. You can just go there and drag and drop it like that to one of the audio channels. Okay, so right now I'm going to show you a little bit of basic coloring, how to color grade your video and change the look of it. So to do that, I'm going to go into this color section here. You can see that we have editing, color effects, audio, all these different kind of layouts that you can choose from up here. I like to use the color one to do color grading. because I like that a lot because it's very optimal. It has the Lumetri color here, the Lumetri scopes here, or anything like that. I'm not going to go into any like super advanced stuff right now. I'm just going to show you very basic color grading to make your footage look a little bit better. So if you don't have Lumetri color here, you can just go to Window Workspaces and choose the color one, or go here and make sure that the Lumetri color one is ticked. Now also, if you want to change the layout of your software, you can just drag and drop any of these panels anywhere you want to make it very comfortable for yourself to use. So what we're going to do now is just go on this clip, select it, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to use this supplementary tab to make it look a little bit better. So I first want to add a little bit more contrast to it. And to do that, I'm going to raise the highlights. And I'm going to lower the shadow so you can see how this immediately added more contrast to it. Now if I go into this creative tab, you can choose from all the lots that they have available here by default. And lots basically help you like change the look of the whole image by one click. These are kind of like Instagram filters, but for video, and you can change the intensity of it right here with this slider. And you can add all sorts of adjustments here as well, like sharpening or vibrance or saturation. And you can change all those right here. Now here we also have the curves. And yeah, I'm actually not going to go super in detail to these because this can be a little bit, more time to understand. But I hope this gives you like a good understanding of at least of how to do some basic color correcting and how to add some more contrast and how to change the look of your video with lots right here. Okay, so right now I'm going to use all this knowledge that I've just shown you and all these things that I've shown you how to do and then put together a quick cinematic sequence. And then after that, I'm going to show you how you can export your video. Alright, so I actually finished the editing of this quick video. This is how it turned out. Hope you like it, but now let's get into how you can actually export this some masterpiece that you have been working on. So you're going to go into File, and then go into Export, Export Media, and then this is what's going to pop up for you. So now you want to make sure that here, the whole video that you created is selected. So if that is the case, then you can choose a format. Here I'm going to choose H.264, which is kind of the standard for all sorts of video. That's especially for the internet. And then for the preset, I'm going to choose YouTube 1080p HD for me, because I want to export this to YouTube. But there are a bunch of presets that you can choose from. And yeah, actually, this is the YouTube to 1080p Full HD here. And then here, you can select the output name. So I want to call this, for example, trailer. And then you can select where it should actually save the file. So I'm going to choose my desktop. And then here there are a bunch of different settings as well. I like to select render at maximum depth so you can get a little bit of extra quality out of the footage. And then you can set the target bitrate, which is basically going to determine the bigger you put your target bitrate, the more like details is going to leave in the footage kind of, but the bigger your files are going to be as well. So I also like to select to use maximum render quality, and that's going to be it for all my settings for now. Like again, make sure that everything is selected here. And then you can just click on export and it's going to start exporting. Alright, that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. And I will see you guys in the next one.